you see, you will know what to do. And that's important. And this is what you need to understand, and this is what you need to remember right at the beginning of this week. You will know instantly and intuitively what do you need to do in order to resolve this problem, in order to resolve this challenge you are indeed going to run into right at the beginning of this week, my gorgeous Torini. So at the beginning of this week, it's going to start with you having this contemplation. You're going to be contemplating what are you going to do, because you are indeed going to run into this challenge. And this challenge, the reason why you are going to have this challenging situation, it's only because you were considered to like kind of you were refusing to consider another point of view, and this in itself now left you kind of dissatisfied when it comes to this certain aspect of your life you are going to be focusing on, and it's a lot to do with poor planning. Okay, so you ended up in this situation because it's also a lot to do with poor planning. Now the bottom line is you will know instantly what to do. Do you get me? Okay, so when it comes to you like having this contemplation, yes, I did mention that you are going to have this contemplation, but you will instantly know what do you need to do, what is going to be the way out of this situation. Okay, so it's going to be consisting of you already knowing what to do, but the reason why you're going to end up having contemplation, it's only because you will need to make some kind of a bold move in order to resolve this. And you know, you need to understand that you need to act now. You need to do something about it immediately. And you are indeed not only going to have a really good experience, a really pleasant experience, not only this problem, it's actually going to come to an end, my gorgeous Torini. Not only this problem is going to be resolved, but something really positive is actually going to happen. And it depends where exactly you're gonna go, and it depends what exactly you're gonna do, and it depends who exactly you're gonna be speaking to. All you need to remember is to keep on following your intuition, my gorgeous Torini, no matter what. Okay, and you are going to end up having such a pleasant, such a positive experience. And it's not only that, something is going to happen, and you know, you are not only going to have such a brilliant idea. Listen to me very carefully. Something is going to happen. Not only you're going to end up having this absolutely brilliant idea, you know, something so pleasant is going to happen, something so positive it's going to happen, and you are going to end up having this brilliant idea. And you know, this in itself, it's going to be on your mind like kind of persistently. In fact, you're not going to be able to stop talking about this new idea, my gorgeous Torini, like whatsoever. And you're going to be driving like everybody nuts. No, I'm joking. No, but honestly, you're just going to be talking about it. You're going to be thinking about this idea constantly, and you're going to be talking about this idea constantly. And I'm not being funny. I'm going to say this. The more you think about this idea and the more you talk about this idea, the more is going to come out of it. The more you will understand, the more additional ideas you are going to realize, and the more additional ideas you're actually going to have. The more you talk about this idea, the more energized and re-energized you are going to feel, and the more you're going to understand how imminent this is when it comes to your entire life. So this idea within the next 2 or 3 days, oh my God, it's going to turn into something absolutely major, because at the same time you will see this idea as a clear direction in life you most certainly need to follow. Do you see how big this is going to be for you? Do you see how important this is going to be for you? And you know, this is why I'm telling you right now, my gorgeous Torini, that you really have to follow your intuition. You really need to follow your intuition, because there is also going to be somebody rather close to you somebody who you really get on, somebody consistent in your life, somebody really lovely, somebody really nice, and somebody really intelligent. And that particular person is just not going to be able to tell where exactly you are coming from. They're not going to be able to understand your idea. But that doesn't matter. You must not allow this to put you off. Sometimes even those closest to us are not able to see or understand where exactly we are coming from when it comes to certain aspects in our lives, we are focusing on, and especially when it comes to the certain ideas. Certain people can be the closest to us, but they may not be able to completely understand where exactly we are coming from. But that doesn't mean that we should allow this to put us off from something we feel so closely connected to. Like, you're going to feel so closely connected to this idea. You're going to feel so drawn to this idea. That's why you need to follow your intuition, my gorgeous Torini. Honestly, it's just so important at this stage of your life. And you will clearly understand yourself that when it comes to this idea, when it comes to this clear direction being absolutely obvious for you to follow at this stage of your life, at this stage of your journey, you will clearly understand that you are making such a major choice here. There is no doubt about it, but then again, it's like you just like kind of really, you are of course doing the right thing. And still at around the beginning of this week, you're just going to have such an interesting sign as well when it comes to this new idea, when it comes to this clear direction in life you should most certainly follow. There is something very unusual going to happen, like some kind of a sign, some kind of like a really fortunate omen, and it's going to be so unique to this particular situation, and it's going to be so unique to what exactly you were thinking about and what you were exactly focusing on at around that particular time. When you see this fortunate omen, you will know, my gorgeous Torini, that it's going to be a confirmation for that there is so much more to this life, but this is also going to be confirmation that you are most certainly doing the right thing. If there was any doubt in your mind whatsoever at this moment in time, it's about to disappear. And by the time you get to the mid part of this week, you really are gonna need to speak to this person, somebody who is obviously like very close to you, somebody who you really care about a lot. Maybe it's a family member, or maybe it's like one of your greatest friends, but somebody like really close to you is just gonna be it's started to do something really silly, is about to do something really silly when it comes to their money, when it comes to their finances, and you really need to step in. You really need to step in, because this is going to be brought to your attention. So whether this is somebody in your family, whether this is your friend, whoever this is, it's somebody who's very much so closely connected to you. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to see this in your reading. Do you know what I mean? But so this is going to be brought to your attention, what that person is about to do, and it's to do with money, and it's to do with finances. And as soon as you hear this, you're going to be like, oh my God, no baby, no baby, no, what are you doing? As soon as you hear this, there will be bells ringing in your head, like, no, don't do this. For the love of God, you need to go forward, and you need to let this person exactly what was on your mind. As soon as you heard this, you need to let this person know this, because you are someone who is way more experienced. And don't get me wrong, this could be somebody older, than you. It doesn't really matter. Age is just a number. It doesn't really matter. But maybe when it comes to the certain things in life, do you know what I mean? You're like the one who's more experienced. But especially when it comes to this problem, you're the one who's more experienced. Or maybe you've been through this experience beforehand. And that's why I just strongly, it's my microphone here, it is. That's why I strongly, paranoia. That's why I strongly need you, my gorgeous Torini, to really kind of go forward and say what's on your mind. because you're being very smart, you're being really clever. And if that person goes forward with what they're trying to do, something to do with finances, maybe starting something which is going to be ludicrous and almost like really terrible, or maybe that person wants to start something which is going to be so difficult to get out of, and it's not really wise, it's not really smart, it's not really clever. And everybody can make some kind of mistake in life. Don't get me wrong, everybody, no matter how old we are, no matter how smart we are, no matter how wise we are, we're only humans. Everybody makes mistakes, but not everybody is blessed enough to have somebody around them who is like, you know, wise enough to see some kind of disaster happening before it happens, you know. So this is why I need you to, gosh, there was something on my neck, there was something walking on my neck. Yeah, so hello, can you leave me alone, bags, please? Please, can you back off? Can you just ignore me like 5 minutes? No, seriously. So it's like a basically yes, so please go forward and say what's on your mind when you hear about this person, what this person is trying to do. Maybe they're trying to start some kind of contract. Maybe they're trying to start something which is going to drain their finances. Maybe they're trying to start something which is going to be so bad for them financially and in so many different ways. And the bottom line is that person would end up doing absolutely 1,000,000% the wrong thing. And also they would end up being so restricted in life in general. And this would bother you a lot. This would bother you a lot because you would think like, oh, well, you know, at a time I knew what to do and now I feel so bad that I didn't let this person know what to do, blah, blah, blah. And it would be like that. It would be like a torture for both of you, but especially for you because at the time when you knew what this person was doing, you didn't say anything. So that's why please go forward and let this person know what's on your mind so you can perhaps stop this like situation, because this would be like kind of really silly, my gorgeous, really silly for that person to do, my gorgeous Torini. Honestly, this is just so important for you to understand. And also, do you know what? At around the midweek, you will really, you know, this is a lot to do with you seeing something. Oh my God, it's like you're seeing something. You're gonna see maybe someone's house, or you're gonna see someone's garden, or it's a lot to do with you seeing something, but it's a lot to do with you being so inspired and kind of feeling something in your soul, something that's missing in your life, but it's in terms of lifestyle. But I know you're gonna be looking at maybe someone's garden or something like that, and you're really going to feel so inspired. And you really need to follow your heart when it comes to this. You need to follow your heart, and because there are certain goals that you are going to have at around that time, whether you realize this consciously or subconsciously, but there are going to be certain goals that you are going to have while you're going to feel so connected, while you are kind of looking at somebody else's lifestyle. For example, whatever this is, you need to understand that very difficult. This is a very good sign on one hand. There are two things that are out of it. On one hand, this is a very good sign, and it means that a very difficult stage in your life that has been blocking you and preventing you to move forward is coming to an end. So you are being guided. You are being guided right now at this stage of your life. And another thing which is going to come out of your, which is coming out of this, it's a sign that it's time to transform these goals, you know, which is going to be on your mind, into reality. And this is somehow going to reflect really positively. I know it's to do with lifestyle that I've said, but somehow this is going to reflect really positively on your financial situation, and you're going to come home to yourself. At the same time, you will do something which is going to make you well established, and you're going to feel how you've never felt before when it comes to you, you know, feeling that you're getting the most out of this life, that you're getting the most out of this journey. You see, so this is why this is going to be so important. By the time you get to the last part of this week, I can see one little problem over there. Of course, dark Lala is about to walk into the room. No, I'm joking. No, there is a bit of a problem there. I'm seeing some kind of a burden. You're going to be reminded of this burden that you're actually dealing with, and you're going to feel really frustrated because you've had this kind of burden. You had this problem that you've been dealing with for a while, and it's affecting your freedom. It's affecting your freedom, my gorgeous Torini. This is something that you need to deal with ASAP, and you're going to be reminded of that burden because there is going to be some kind of a phone call, some kind of a message that you're going to have, and you're going to be like, oh no, you know, you're going to be reminded of this. And you need to understand that when it comes to this burden, it's important for you to collaborate. You're going to need to collaborate with somebody to bring this burden to an end, and you will realize this at around the end of this week. In order for you to bring this burden to an end, okay, you're gonna need to like collaborate with somebody. And I know that someone is going to give you some kind of advice when it comes to this problem. Somebody very close to you, some kind of consistent person in your life, somebody who you knew for a very long time, and somebody who is having lots of problems, somebody who is having one big major problem in life, and they had that one big major problem in life that they are not successfully dealing with for a very, 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 very long time, for many, 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 many years. And I think with this person, it's obvious what their problem is. I know it sounds weird, but that's how I'm channeling it. But then at the same time, this particular person who you're going to be talking to is going to give you really wise advice. And it's more like a confirmation about something you've already knew, you know, my gorgeous Torini. So, and the advice from that person is going to be what you already knew, that you're going to need to collaborate with somebody in order to bring this problem to an end. And this is important to do. And because you are going to, you know, you are going to make your first step, and it's not going to be easy. But as soon as you make your first step, somehow that you will go somewhere, you will do something, and it's going to feel like kind of unpleasant to start with, but then very shortly after, you're going to find out a really pleasant news. Something is going to pleasantly surprise you, and based on this news, you will know that you did the right thing, and you will know that this burden and this problem is going to be resolved. But it's only the beginning of it. It's to do with a little process. But the fact that you will know at such an early stage that this is going to be resolved, oh my God, it's like a blessing, again, another blessing in itself, you know. So this is going to seem like, and all this time it seemed like, oh my God, this is such a hard work. But now something is going to be revealed to you, and you will know that, you know, this is going to come to an end. Absolutely brilliant. So now, my gorgeous Torini, I'm going to shuffle these cards, and I'm going to see what's going to be a tarot card of the week. I'm just going to shuffle these tarot cards, and I'm going to see what's going to be a tarot card of the week, my gorgeous Torini. Let's just see. Let's just see. Oh la la, look, a blast from the past. I really like this. Somebody from your past is going to pleasantly surprise you. Oh my God. Somebody who you haven't seen. Six of Cups. Yes, Six of Cups. Somebody from your past is going to pleasantly surprise you. Oh my God, this is going to make you feel so happy. And it's not, I'm not talking about like ex-boyfriends, ex-girlfriend and all that. No, baby, no. I think that maybe this is like an old friend who is going to pleasantly surprise you, or maybe this is going to be like maybe an old friend is going to pleasantly surprise you, my gorgeous Torini, or it's going to be like a family member who you haven't seen in absolute ages. But I do know it's to do with somebody who you haven't seen in a very, very long time. And when you see this person, this is going to make you feel so good about yourself. But it's really going to reflect on your spirit and on your soul, because something beautiful is going to happen when you reconnect with this person. You're really going to not only perk up, but you're really going to feel fascinated by this person's life and by their lifestyle. And this is going to rub off on you in the best possible way. You know, you're not only going to be re-energized, but you're going to end up having so many brilliant ideas. What do you want to do? Because this is somebody who's going to so beautifully motivate you. Hello my gorgeous people, just to let you know, I've just started monthly subscriptions, monthly paid subscriptions, and the more people subscribe to this channel, you know, through monthly paid subscriptions, more content I'm going to be able to make. And this is why this is going to be so important. If you would like to subscribe to this channel through this monthly paid subscription in order to help me to keep this channel going, you will see the link is going to be in the description below. And thank you so much, because I will be ever so grateful.